Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to watch this non-Dell Influencer podcast. I'm Matt Coles, National Sales Manager with FirstFunding. I have Trenton Fudge, Account Executive with FirstFunding, with us, joining us today. Welcome to the first podcast, Trenton. How are we doing so far?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me.
We're going to work out all our technical difficulties as we get better and better with this, and we'll both look better on camera as we go. So you and I have known each other for a long time. In fact, you actually were interning at Plaza Home Mortgage when we first met. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your intern process at Plaza?
Yep. Well, I got started at Plaza, I think it was junior year of college in the marketing department. My first actual experience with the mortgage industry. I've been around it. I have plenty of family members in the industry. But going in there, obviously, my stepbrother, who's one of your pupils over at Plaza Home Mortgage, we were able to get along together and build on our relationship early on. And fast forward 5 years later, actually, now you're my manager. So it's it's a great learning experience. Good to have you over here.
So yeah, you actually started, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you started at FirstFunding March 2020 when this little event called COVID was just starting. Is that right?
Well, it was June 1st, 2020. But yeah, it was, I was getting thrown right into the fire. I attribute a lot of, my current success and I guess knowledge now from being put into that. There's so much business coming in. Obviously, right out of college, going in the mortgage industry, I wasn't, a 20-year vet knowing exactly what I was doing and what warehouse lines were, but sitting in my old boss Nate's office and listening to Nick and everybody else in our department, word for word, writing down everything they say, even from the little cliche sayings like doing great, or was it living the dream? How about yourself? That's Nate's famous line.
Tomorrow's going to be better than today.
Exactly. So, it was great time, to get in there. Being in the office every day really helped for myself from the day I started to even now still. But, I learned a lot quickly, and then obviously things flip upside down. You got to work even harder, but that ultimately comes, with a lot of immediate experience. And I think it attributes to a lot of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. So, take me through that first couple of years, right? As someone who transitioned into the industry, and then you had instant success, right? 2020 and 2021, I'm sure Nate told you in the past, like, hey, this is not the norm, right? And you're like, oh, but I'm so good at this job. Look how good I'm doing, right? Immediately. And then you transition into 2020, late 2022, early 2023, which kind of was a challenge for everyone in the industry. Tell me a little bit about the emotions of having instant success to learning how to fight back, essentially.
Yeah, it's a big slap in the face when when the market changed, and you got to get used to it. Obviously, there's uncertainty with when things are going to turn around and where you are. I think that was a point where came off of a couple great years. I thought this is just the easiest industry in the world, and then right now, this is where you find the people that are here to stay. When it turned in 2022, and I think ultimately my confidence in where I am right now in 2024 now, and being able to, kind of buckle up and really learn and work on my networking, especially, and you got to work double as hard in the awful times there were. It's easy to get lazy when things are slow, but I think that's where my turning point was in my career, as far as being able to separate myself from, being a beginner or just from entry level individuals.
Yeah, if you look back at some of the lessons, maybe that even one of your, I know Nate's a good mentor of yours. Some people you have a lot of family that's in the industry. Anything that was said to you or that was shared with you during that challenging time where you're like, okay, I got to pull my bootstraps up?
Yeah, I remember well before I got into the industry, speaking with my dad, who's been in it for 30 years, my brother, my step family, all of them have been in here for a very long time. And, they said, hey, if you want to get into it, you got to be prepared for some pretty tough times. It's a roller coaster of an industry. And I think that helped me obviously you won't ever be prepared once you're in it. Go through the first time, you can understand what they're saying, but once you eventually get through it and you see it happening in front of your eyes, I think the support of everybody around, and we have a great culture in our company where everyone has a lot of energy. We're youthful. We get out in the field, we go to conferences, tag up with other account executives all over the country, and being able to surround yourself with like-minded and energetic individuals is really what it's going to keep you here, and make you feel comfortable that you're in the right place.
Yeah, I think you're right. As someone who's been doing this for 20 years myself, I mean, we're all on the same roller coaster.
Yeah.
When things are not going great, it's not like it's someone's out there going like, "Hey, we're doing so amazingly well. We got the secret sauce," right? So one of the things that I'm incredibly impressed with so far is, you just came off a record-breaking first quarter of 2024. Second quarter is looking even better. You have some pretty big clients that are asking for some significant increases in their warehouse line. I think one of the misconceptions about FirstFunding really is, they get you started and then you graduate to a bigger or better line with somebody else, right? So you've taken some customers from 5 million to 15 million, taken another customer from 20 million to 40 million. So we got some big lines out there, some big facilities. Tell me a little bit about how you're cultivating that and what's been the success behind that.
Yeah, well, so I mean, the main part is always offering a line of support, and communication is key. Whether they need you or not, just being able to say, hey, you're doing a fantastic job this month. Is there anything I can help with? It doesn't have to be every single day. They don't want to be bothered that much, but being able to get out front of there, always find a solution, maybe find a problem that they currently have that maybe they're not even aware of. What can you do to help their experience or even help grow their production in the correspondent side? Because, right, like you mentioned, a lot of our business is broker to banker, but that's not all we do, right? We have a flexibility of going anywhere from 2 million to 250 million. So we can help anyone with all sizes. And you're right about the misconception. I mean, we really show with these types of increases that we can accommodate all sizes as well.
Yeah, and as people are graduating, right, this is something I'm learning, being relatively new into this job. The First American umbrella brings a lot of resources available to us, right?
Yep.
Like I know you're constantly working on introductions to title companies and JVs and document solutions, valuation solutions. So we have all this under our umbrella. So it's not just selling warehouse lines, right? We're basically cross-selling quite a bit of what we do as an entire organization.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, with First American, our parent company, we have many different parties involved that can all have an influence on every transaction. I mean, even recently, there was one of my lenders down in California that actually made purchase shop, and a lot of people say, "Hey, we can't refer title business, or we're not the one choosing title on a purchase loan." Well, you can still have some influence in there. If you can provide a solution, which is our Flex Close product, that allows for immediate funding outside the Federal Reserve. And it could be a huge benefit for not only the lender, but most importantly, the borrowers, and making sure that you're funding on their time and not the Fed's, right? So being able to present that opportunity, even at the front, in the beginning of the process, hey, obviously I know this is 100% your choice, but if you work with me and someone that I can introduce you to, we can guarantee an extremely quick and efficient closing process.
Yeah, I think that selling something like Flex Close over here, kind of does make us stand out. And I think that's one of the things that I'm trying to bring to the sales team at FirstFunding is, okay, like, listen, guys, there's a lot of opportunity for people to sell facility lines, right? Warehouse facilities. You've heard me in our meetings before. We have to understand the entire book of business that the customer is going through. We want to be the easiest part, of the transaction, right? They're dealing with interest rate pressure, buyback problems, EPO issues, trying to recruit. So many things that they got their plate full, our lender partners. We just want to make sure that we're the easiest piece of it, right? And so I know when you go through the onboarding process, the technology is always a highlight. Is there one or two things about the technology that people go like, oh, that makes my job 1,000 times easier?
Oh, definitely. Well, so we have our own proprietary 24-hour browser base. It's called Fuel Loans. We do full trainings for our customers on there where you can go from submitting your wire request all in real time. You get a full play-by-play scenario from our wires team from the time they look at the loan and all the way through sending the wire with a better reference number posted, all the way to reconciliations being completed, which, I think that the reporting that we are able to offer through our platform without having to go generate it ourselves, our customers can go into our system, pull a report from 10 years ago if they'd like, if they've been a customer for 10 years, to see what was, okay, January 1st to April 16th, like today of 2016. What were my loans? I can look at my financial summary reports then. Obviously, no one's really going to be needing to go that far, but that's the capability that we have that not a lot of other companies or warehouse lenders are able
Well,
to
I
provide.
think that with state audits on the rise and a lot of our clients saying like, hey, listen, we're starting to get a little bit more audit requests. Having that data at your fingertips is extremely important and it allows you the ability to prepare for these audits and not have to rely necessarily on someone else just sending you an Excel spreadsheet. You can pick and choose the data that you want to yourself. Having that information, listen, we're in an on-demand world. I want to be able to see what I did today immediately, and having that reporting is definitely great. I also, I hear you guys. I hear the sales team on the line, right? From my office, I can hear you guys talking clients through all the challenges. Being a lender with a warehouse facility, right? And so having that wherewithal of knowing exactly how to problem solve. Listen, I've seen some warehouse facility partners out there that their sales team says kind of like set it and forget it and not really be helpful. And I know that you guys pride yourselves in the service levels that you drive towards your lenders as well.
Yep.
So looking back at it and now looking forward, what's on your mind for the next third and fourth quarter of 2024? What are your goals that you've set for yourself as you go forward?
Definitely. So a lot of travel planned, third and fourth quarter. We're going to be attending many trade shows. Always like I mentioned earlier in their call, tagging up with AEs, going out in a certain market that we think is going to be growing exponentially, where there's a lot of, whether it's current correspondent or broker business to go attack together, team up, right? We pride ourselves in being the experts in the non-delegated channel and warehouse lending. So when account executives, maybe they don't have as much experience in the channel, we want to be able to give them an offering, a support right there to be able to attack it. They know exactly what they do well, and we know the non-del channel, we know warehouse lending. Let's tag it up together and be able to give them a full picture of the direct experience that comes with becoming a non-delegated correspondent.
And of course, the great culture that we have inside the office, right? What do you call it? Floral Fridays? Why don't you tell us a little bit about Floral Fridays?
Floral Fridays. We like to wear our little floral shirts on Fridays. We get, it starts up the Friday with good energy. We hammer the phones all day. Sometimes go to lunch together on Fridays. We are a team. Even though we're all individual AEs that, have our own book of business, we work nationally and we pride ourselves in being able to offer each other support. Yeah. I wouldn't be this far without the support of all of our other AEs and you and Nate and everybody at our companies that's been able to, they understand. We've all been, right? Nate was in my position probably 10 years ago. Nick was. We all start somewhere. They want to see you succeed just as much as themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Trenton, I'm incredibly proud of the success you've had this year. Looking forward to more success going forward. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to spend some time with us. We'll put up your contact information and what's the next trade show that we're going to see you at? FAMP, right? FAMP next week?
FAMP next week, next Thursday, April 25th. That's in Broward, Deerfield Beach. So yeah, if you're going to be attending, we'd love to see you there.
Awesome. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you. You too.